YouTubers have come and gone over the years, but some beloved YouTubers have left us heartbroken with their unexpected deaths. Starting with YouTuber Emily Hartridge, who was killed while riding an electric scooter. Hi guys, and welcome to the show. So I am not a dating guru, obviously, but I definitely think I know what not to do when dating. This was Emily's typical style of YouTube videos, before her death. She began publishing vlogs on that channel in 2012 with her 10 Reasons Why type of videos. Now her material covered topics ranging from love and relationship to gender and sexuality. She was so popular that she starred in many TV shows like the 2016 series Oh Ain't I'm 30 and Sketch My Life. But barely a decade into her very promising YouTube career, she got into an accident that claimed her life. July 12th, 2019, Emily was riding her electric scooter on the Queen's Circus roundabout in Battersea, London, when she was struck by a lorry, killing her at the scene. Before her death, though, Hartridge was undergoing fertility treatments for egg harvesting, hoping to have a baby with her boyfriend, Jake Hazel. And if you were a fan of her videos, you'd remember Jake making constant appearances on her channel. The two met while she was working as a personal trainer, while Jake mentioned a few times of having struggled with addiction and depression, making him a mental health campaigner to her audience. Now the young couple were looking to have a child of their own, even though Emily was diagnosed with low fertility exactly a year before her death. But what's really shocking here is that in her last video titled 10 Reasons to Get a Younger Boyfriend, Jake gifted her 2 scooters, following her 35th birthday earlier in 2019. And one of those scooters was electric, the same she rode on at the time of her death. Further investigations also showed that she was riding the scooter way too fast, and with an underinflated tire. But just like Emily here, fellow YouTuber Christina Grimmie met an untimely demise. But hers wasn't a consequence of her actions. It was the result of a fan's dark and twisted obsession with her. Here we go. This one's for you guys. Actually, they're all for you, but this one especially is for you, because it's a Jingle Bell rock. I'm down, here we go. 2014, Grimmie grabbed the world's attention when she showed up on The Voice. She immediately stood out with her version of Cyrus's Wrecking Ball and was added to Judge Adam Levine's team. She lasted the season and ended up strong in 3rd place. And because of that performance, Grimmie inked a major record label deal with Island Records. After both Levine and Lil Wayne offered to sign her, the groundbreaking signing led to her releasing her first single, Must Be Love. And even though her appearance on The Voice raised her profile, Grimmie had been making music long before then. She began posting videos of herself singing on YouTube as early as 2009 and quickly became a sensation with millions of subscribers. She even came second in the My YouTube singing competition, behind Selena Gomez. And as her popularity grew on YouTube, Selena Gomez's parents, Mandy Teefey and Brian, opted to become Grimmie's managers. Soon after, she opened for Selena Gomez in one show, appeared on Ellen DeGeneres, performed at the American Music Awards, and Radio Disney, while also releasing several albums independently. And while she was rocking the stage with her angelic vocals, one fan named Kevin Lobel was harvesting the depraved thought of murdering her. 2015, Kevin saw Christina sing for the first time and fell into an obsession. In his mind, she was the perfect match for him, but he wanted to improve himself for her. So he lost 50 pounds, got LASIK eye surgery, had his teeth whitened, and even got hair implants to cover up his receding hairline. Christina's devout Christian faith even sparked a change in his beliefs, and he began seeing God in her. But just a few months later, Kevin's delusions turned into an outright obsession to kill. June 9th, 2016, Kevin bought the $15 tickets to Christina's show in Orlando, Florida. He arrived at a very expensive hotel with just a backpack and paid $269 for a room. The next morning, he stuffed most of his belongings into that bag and placed them in the safe beneath the TV in the hotel room. Then clipped two nylon gun holsters to the inside of the back of his jeans, wrapped a cloth around his left ankle, and then strapped a knife around it. He made his way over to the Plaza Live, where Christina was said to be performing. And while teenage girls and their mothers had their purses checked by security, Kevin had snuck past the entrance and made his way into the venue. After the show, he got in line behind dozens of other fans who wanted to meet Christina. And as soon as it was his turn, he approached her, but didn't say anything. So Christina opened her arms for a hug. It was her trademark way to break the ice if she thought A was too shy to greet her. But this wasn't a mere fan. This was her annihilator. As her arms reached out for a hug, he pulled out a black 9mm Glock and fired 5 shots, hitting her 3 times at point blank. Christina's brother Mark saw Kevin with the gun and his sister falling to the ground, making him jump at Kevin so he can subdue him. But somehow Kevin got out of that grip and brought out his second gun, at which point Mark thought it was also the end for him. But to his surprise, Kevin pointed the gun to his head and shot himself. This had to be one most irrational and unprecedented deaths of a superstar. Christina's demise brought the whole nation to a halt. 2 nights later, and 49 people were gunned down at the Pulse nightclub. And 2 days after that, a small boy was dragged into a lake and killed by an alligator at Disney World. That entire week was disastrous, to say the least, but the word disaster doesn't capture the depth of emotion that overwhelmed fans upon hearing the news that YouTuber Desmond Amofa, also known as Etika, had taken his own life. While police search for missing Etika, a man's body has been found in New York City's East River, near South Street Seaport. Etika, popular YouTuber and streamer, has been found dead after missing for nearly a week. October 2018, Etika uploaded pornography to his primary YouTube channel in blatant disregard of the platform's policies. Now, this resulted in the deletion of the content from his channel. And following that incident, he posted an erratic video that just seemed weird. Generally, he was showing signs that made his subscribers believe something wasn't right, while he left messages on Twitter and Reddit making people really question his sanity. His actions were straight up disturbing, but still they came as a surprise, because he wasn't always this way. 2012, Etika jumped on YouTuber under the username Etika World Network to broadcast his gaming and streaming reactions. Now, he quickly made a name for himself with his unique sense of humor that caught the attention of users. After a couple of years, his channel would grow to over 800,000 subs, while his fans referred to themselves as the Joy-Con Boys, dubbed after the Nintendo Switch controllers known as the Joy-Con. But by April 2019, his downfall was already in full swing. Etika live-streamed a standoff on his Instagram with the NYPD, who had arrived at the door of his apartment in Brooklyn to perform a welfare check, after he posted a series of rambling tweets on X. In one photo, he was holding a gun, which he claimed to have just purchased at Long Island. Now, this standoff led him to be taken to a hospital, but after consistently displaying erratic behavior, Etika released this video and disappeared. "I'm sorry I betrayed your trust. I'm sorry I pushed you all away. I'm sorry I made a clown of myself. I apologize." June 20th, 2019, a pre-recorded video titled "I'm Sorry" was uploaded to Etika's TR1 Iceman YouTube channel. In the 7+ minute video, Etika could be seen walking through the streets of NYC, talking about his mental health and suicidal thoughts, along with the negative aspects of social media. Now, the video's description also contained an apologetic note of similar content. YouTube removed the video for violating its guidelines. But the real shocker here was that after uploading that video, Etika left his personal belongings on a pedestrian walkway of the Manhattan Bridge before jumping over the railing and drowning. Fans would show their concern after that was uploaded, and the NYPD declared him missing. Fellow internet personalities and friends tried to reach out, but got no response. His belongings were found beside the bridge, and inside was a wallet, laptop bag, cell phone, clothes, and a Nintendo Switch. And just 4 days later, his lifeless body was found, about 800 meters east of where he kept those belongings. He was confirmed dead at just 29. Now, when it comes to dealing with the pressure of social media, age is truly just a number, as 33-year-old YouTuber and VH1 star Stevie Ryan, her own life, but in the strangest way possible. Born June 2nd, 1984, Stevie Kathleen Ryan found herself immersed in the internet boom and learned very much in her life how to use a video camera. She always wanted to be a Hollywood star, and when YouTube came around, she hopped on the bandwagon to make a name for herself, even though it came at a cost. May 2006, she posted her debut YouTube video as a character named Little Loca. Now, this character was derived from a Latina classmate that she had back in her high school days, and though it brought mixed reactions since she was typically a white woman, it earned her millions of views apiece. At that time, 1 million views per video was a lot, and soon enough Hollywood came calling. She got called to star in Stevie TV, which was a VH1 sketch comedy revolving around her life and career. Unfortunately, though, VH1 cancelled the show in 2014 after 2 seasons and 14 episodes. The loss weighed on Ryan, especially because she found it hard to find new projects in the industry. Now she became depressed and generally began fighting her demons, and it was at this moment that she met the guy many say was the catalyst to her killing herself, Gerald Baltz. April 2015. Just over a year after Stevie TV was cancelled, Ryan began receiving medical care from Baltz, who was a registered nurse. However, the thing is that this guy did more than just poke her with injections. He allegedly engaged in inappropriate, boundary-crossing relationships with her while she was his patient, and then would move on to a sexual relationship while she was receiving treatment at his facility. This was backed by messages exchanged between the two about their intimate encounters, and his instruction for her to delete the conversation since it was unethical. Baltz allegedly issued her prescriptions for about 10 drugs used to treat a range of conditions, including depression, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorder, without providing clear rationale for prescribed medications, and he wouldn't seek supervision for her during the time she was suicidal. April 2017, 2 years after becoming her medical practitioner, Baltz decided to break up with her, because a part of him felt whatever they had going on was wrong. And just 3 months later, she took her own life. Now, is Baltz to be blamed here? Well, her parents definitely thought so, as they filed a wrongful death lawsuit against this guy and his company, Baltz's Psychiatry, Nursing and Insight Choices, which he left a month after Ryan died. There are no legal documents showing that this case made it to court, so maybe it was settled without any legal troubles, we don't know. But what we do know here is that this next case of Greg Plitt, who lost his life not by fighting the negativities that come with being a famous YouTuber, but lost it while trying to make a positive impact on the world. You see, Greg here wasn't just a YouTuber. As a matter of fact, YouTube was one of the few things he indulged in when he was alive. Back in 1996, he graduated from Gilman School in Baltimore, Maryland. And right away, he joined the U.S. Military Academy, where he got both Airborne and Ranger qualified. And once he was done there, he became a member of the official MetroX athlete program in the U.S. and even became a certified personal trainer in L.A. And this dude was everywhere, not just for his accomplishments in the military, but for his close-to-perfect physique. He did TV commercials for dozens of brands, like Under Armour, MTV, Zoli Sinks, Gold's Gym Powerflex, Old Navy Jeans, Calvin Klein, and a bunch more. He even got some solid acting gigs. But while filming one particular deadly YouTube video, Greg lost his life. January 17th, 2015. Two men were filming Greg on the railroad track north of the Burbank train station when a train came from behind and cleared him off the rail tracks, killing him in the process. And yeah, Greg knew the train was coming at him. But according to investigations, the train tracks of that particular railway station were designed in a way that makes it hard to tell which particular set the train is on. So it was kind of a blind spot. And instead of getting off entirely, he stood right in the middle of the tracks as the train's horn was blaring, probably playing Russian roulette with his life in that moment. And sadly, he lost it. His death was first ruled as a suicide, but then a video taken by a passenger on the train showed Plitt trying to outrun the train when he noticed it was coming his way, making him rule it as an accident. And the daring video he was shooting was for a commercial for his self-produced energy drink. Might have been a tragic death, but his legacy definitely lives on, with many of his motivational videos that have been used as edits on the Gram and TikTok. Similar to YouTuber Grant Thompson, who died in a paragliding accident while allegedly recording a YouTube video. June 29th, 2019. Authorities in Washington County, Utah, responded to a call of an overdue pilot, yet to return after someone had tried to reach Mr. Thompson on his cell phone, but couldn't get across. His family had reported him missing around 10:30 p.m. to the Washington County Sheriff's Office after he didn't return from the trip that day. Officers would use GPS to connect to a locator he carried with him and were able to get his last known coordinates. Using a helicopter, they found paragliding equipment around those coordinates and were able to locate a body identified to be Grant Thompson's. Now, years before that incident, Thompson worked as an airline pilot for 11 years before transitioning into real estate. However, around 2010, he created his YouTube channel called TKOR, an acronym for the King of Random, which was basically a nickname given by a friend for his engaging in incredibly random activities. Around 2013, he rose to fame with his channel, which explored life hacks, experiments, and random weekend projects. One of his most popular videos, How to Make Lego Gummy Candy, which was published in May 2015 and explored how to make your own candy at home, had more than 40 million views at the time of his death. Other videos explored helpful hacks with precise directions and a bit of science, like how to open a coconut with any tool, or how to create your own stress ball using a sack of flour and party balloons. His unique style of content helped him get around 11 million subscribers, but his fame came with a little controversy. January 2018, Thompson was charged with 2 counts of second-degree felony possession of an explosive device for allegedly conducting incendiary experiments in his backyard. He faced a max of 15 years in prison, but Thompson agreed to a plea bargain. So, in exchange for dropping the charges to a suspended sentence of misdemeanor recklessness with an incendiary device charge, he agreed to create 2 YouTube videos educating viewers about physical safety and the legal risks associated with experiments that could be dangerous. Unfortunately, though, his next dangerous experiment claimed his life. While filming his paragliding experiment, Thomas crashed with the apparatus and was declared dead a few hours later. But unlike other YouTubers, his channel is still active to this day, amassing over 3 billion views in total. That's an extra billion since his death, but the one death that really shook the YouTube community was the death of Talia Castellano, the teenage YouTuber who lost her life after battling 2 different cancers. Hi, I'm Talia, and I do beauty videos on YouTube. I've already done kind of like a day look using my favorite CoverGirl product. If you've ever seen one of Castellano's inspirational YouTube makeup tutorials, you likely remember the 13-year-old's huge dark brown eyes, her infectious, quirky smile, and maybe her bald head, which she wore with pride and courage. Talia, battling two forms of cancer, became an inspiration to millions through her YouTube channel. Her journey truly began while she was growing up in Orlando, Florida, with her mom, Desiree Castellano, and father, Mark Winthrop. When she was just 7 years old, Talia began experiencing fevers and abdominal pain, and then after an X-ray, it showed unusual anatomical displacements in her chest, leading to her being diagnosed with neuroblastoma, a rare pediatric cancer of the peripheral nervous system. Being so young, she had to undergo various types of therapies and treatments. She was declared cancer-free at some point, but relapsed 3 times in 6 years. And in that period, Castellano was also diagnosed with myelodysplastic syndrome, a cancer affecting the bone marrow and progressive neuroblastoma. There are no treatments to tackle both cancers, meaning Castellano was now living on borrowed time. Nonetheless, she decided to put that time to good use. August 27, 2011, Talia Castellano uploaded her first makeup tutorial, Crazy Eyeliner, to YouTube, where it gained over 30,000 views. Subsequently, Castellano and her father would co-found a charity called Band of Parents, focusing on a wish to find a cure for neuroblastoma. And while all that was going on, she made a bucket list of things she wished to do, from getting a tattoo to jumping into a pool of Jell-O. But the biggest thing on her list was to meet Ellen DeGeneres and do her makeup. September 2012, that dream became reality as DeGeneres hosted Castellano on her show, even giving her a $20,000 check to support her makeup journey. From that point on, Talia had made it known in multiple videos that she wasn't afraid of dying, and she didn't mind quitting all forms of therapy. July 16th, 2013, after spending the last 3 months on palliative care and about a month to her 14th birthday, Castellano died at the Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children in Orlando, Florida. On the day she died, her older sister, Mattia, uploaded a video explaining how she wanted some of Castellano's old friends to help carry on her legacy and complete her bucket list. The YouTube Rewind of 2013 was dedicated to Castellano, as at the end of that video, the words for Talia Joy, who still inspires us, were handwritten. Rest in peace, Talia. Now, we're moving on to the disturbing case of Rich Piana, a fitness YouTuber who died way sooner than anyone expected. But surprisingly, it wasn't his death that was the shocker. It was how he died that left his fans perplexed. 46-year-old Rich Piana was a pro bodybuilder from Florida who kept over 1.2 million followers on the gram, hooked with his muscular selfies and amazing physique. I mean, at 46, the dude was more jacked than average bodybuilders in their prime. And he took the internet by storm with his social media posts, YouTube vlogs, insane workout plans, and supplement business. But he didn't choose this path out of the blue, as fitness was engraved in his blood. His mother, a bodybuilder herself, introduced him to the sport when he was younger. He enjoyed watching her train, eagerly following in her footsteps, competing for the first time at 15. Unfortunately, he didn't fare well in his debut competition. After a number of failed attempts, he would turn to steroids to help his training, and saw greater success in the field. But we know that came at a stark cost. For more than 30 years, Piana injected his body with anabolic steroids, thrusting him into the spotlight at 2016, when he openly admitted to using the drug to gain muscle mass. His fitness regimen consisted of massive steroid cycles, 9 meals a day, and a series of workouts not fit for the average human being. Maybe some protein shakes big enough to drown a toddler in. Like, what was bro training for? World War III? This guy claimed he spent at least $2,500 on growth hormones per month with steroids. And while he claimed he was in control of his steroid use, I guess he lost that control in 2017 when he lost his life to it. At 1:30 p.m. on August 7th, 2017, Piana collapsed while receiving a haircut from a barber named Jansen at his home in Clearwater, Florida. Jansen called 911 and followed the operator's instructions to attempt CPR until paramedics arrived about 10 minutes into their call. Those same paramedics confirmed his heart was not beating properly, and even if it was, restored to normality. So much time had passed, it resulted in brain damage. After finding some crushed white powder, a straw, and a credit card on the table in his home, paramedics gave him naloxone, a medication used to counteract a possible opiate overdose. However, Jansen denied that cocaine, heroin, or other drugs were involved, claiming that Piana had sometimes snorted high-caffeine pre-workout supplements and didn't use recreational drugs. 20 bottles of testosterone were found at his home, which was very alarming. And after 2 weeks in this induced coma, to reduce brain swelling, Piana passed away on August 25th, 2017, at age 46. An autopsy showed significant heart disease, with his heart and liver weighing over twice the average amount for an adult male. But even with that, it didn't conclusively determine the cause and manner of death. Just like YouTuber Dylan the Hacker, whose cause of death is still unknown to this day. Griffin Alexander Klaus, better known as Dylan the Hacker or Dylan Prescott Henderson, was this American satirical YouTuber making ranting vlogs on YouTube, and he joined on February 27th, 2014, primarily becoming popular because of his rants about PewDiePie, as well as other YouTubers like Vanos Gaming, Smosh, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and Pyrocynical. His notorious rants on PewDiePie earned him a lot of subscribers, while also making fans of YouTubers he mocked extremely mad at him. But in the end, that was his intention and the desired reaction to his videos, so there wasn't any problem there. During PewDiePie's battle with T-Series, Griffin took advantage of that conflict by once again returning to rant on PewDiePie, as well as other YouTubers. This guy would get featured on many YouTube channels, most notably PewDiePie, Luna, and Pyrocynical, and even become a well-known troll after pretending to hack these YouTubers. But at the height of his career, Dylan vanished. July 28th, 2019, Dylan passed away in his Hammond, Louisiana home at the age of 20. But for some reason, his family and friends kept it private until a month after, when his family finally came forward, saying he was gone. And rumors say the only reason they came forward to admit his death is because a Twitter user, known as Selma, posted now-deleted photos explaining that Griffin was dead. The images contain the news. Many of you may be familiar with the name Dylan the Hacker. He's someone who's provided us with such amazing satirical content. It's why it is with great sadness for me to say that he passed away. He is someone who, on a personal level, I have shared some great moments with. Although our time together wasn't long, he was genuinely such a kind and funny person. He will be missed. Another Twitter user by the name of Tyler Damsma tweeted a similar message, and later on, Drama Alert's host Keemstar ended up confirming the news to the public. PewDiePie would also share his condolences on Twitter. But the biggest shock to that story is that even with the widespread attention his death was getting, Dylan's family never revealed the cause of his death. Our only speculation comes from the testimony of Dylan's longtime friend, DG Gumby, who claimed that Dylan took his life after battling chronic depression. And this brings us to the last one on the list, Mr. John Bain, who, just like Talia Castellano, died of cancer. John Bain ran a popular channel under the name TotalBiscuit, having more than 2.2 million subscribers. His fame came after he was laid off from his job at a financial advisory company. He then found a new venture with YouTube and was invited into the gaming networks, even partnering up with Sony Online Entertainment. He was a top Steam curator, hosted a gaming podcast, and even won numerous awards, including Fans' Choice at the Game Awards in 2014 and a 2012 Battle Royale, donating his winnings to charity. But along with his fame, also came a little controversy. He not only became an online sensation for his no-nonsense reviews of new indie games with a love him or hate him personality, this guy was also propagating Gamergate, a misogynist campaign of harassment that primarily targeted women in the games industry, as well as other journalists and developers who were perceived as feminist or social justice warriors. Supporters of Gamergate routinely harassed and threatened the lives of people in the gaming industry and media, which continues to happen to this day. And yet, his polarizing views and unwillingness to concede made him become one of the most popular and prolific critics in gaming. But that wasn't until tragedy struck. In 2014, Bain was diagnosed with bowel cancer, and almost immediately after, he talked about his decision to retire, given that his cancer was terminal. He wrote via a Reddit post, "I can't do the job anymore. I'm under the influence of too much medication to think clearly, and my schedule's too unreliable to get coverage out in a timely manner." He also said of his illness, "There's literally nothing I can do about it, other than try to manage the pain as best as possible, and stay as hydrated as possible to ease the pressure on the liver." Mid-April 2018, Bain was hospitalized for extreme back pain, from which doctors discovered that the cancer was growing, applying pressure on his spine. While he underwent a clinical trial to combat the spread, the doctors found that the cancer had become too resistant to medication, and conventional chemotherapy would be ineffective. He was informed that his liver was failing, and barely a week after that, Bain's wife, Jenna, announced through both her and her husband's Twitter accounts that Bain had fallen into a hepatic coma and died. So while many of the lives of these 10 YouTubers ended prematurely, their impacts on the community live on in the hearts of their fans. And maybe still, they inspire kindness and creativity in the hearts of their viewers.